This is 1000% the type of documentary that I would expect someone's enemy to make about them.
Make this make sense to me. You would rather talk on a documentary and say all the crimes that somebody has done, but you won't go tell the police. Is telling it all on a documentary still not considered snitching? Like, what's going on?
Watching Diddy's documentary fully affirmed what I already know, which is that the value of distractions has been inflated in society to a ridiculous point, to the point whereby people are willing to ignore the violation of another person's human rights as long as it means that they can continue to be entertained.
When I tell you guys that the Diddy documentary has people shocked and it is reinforcing the hard truth, I don't even know where to start from. So Diddy documentary dropped and oh my god, the internet went wild. People are watching in shock, in anger, in confusion, and honestly, there is so much to unpack that it is even hard for you to know where to start from. But one thing that I want to say that this documentary is solidified for me, and I think for so many people, because when people are talking about it, they are talking about those points as well, is that there is no such thing as an ethical billionaire. You do not get that level of power, that level of money, that level of influence without somebody suffering. You guys are seeing the number of people who died in order for one man to rise. Like, I need you guys to hear what people are saying. Let's just get into it and then we come back and we'll talk about it.
A trend that I noticed in this Diddy docuseries is that a lot of the folks that decided to finally speak up are people who spoke up not because they saw someone else getting hurt, but because they themselves got hurt. All this time, everyone knew what was happening to Cassie, but no one said anything. His producer spoke up because he didn't get paid. Now, yes, I know he was a victim, but he did not speak up until he did not get his money. A lot of these people who were sticking beside Diddy let him do whatever he wanted for years. It wasn't until they themselves became a victim to whatever Diddy was doing that now all of a sudden they got something to say. Everyone knew what Diddy was doing. Y'all knew he was responsible for Biggie and Tupac's death, but no one said anything. Y'all knew he was beating Kim Porter. Y'all said nothing. Y'all knew he was out here taking wives and girlfriends of his colleagues, but y'all said nothing. You guys also knew it was weird that he had this God complex, and y'all said nothing. I don't know, it just seems as if Diddy just finally pissed off the wrong person.
I finished watching that Diddy documentary last night, which this was my first time watching any documentary on him. He legit rose to fame. The more people died. The charity basketball game, which was my first time hearing about that, and the 9 people that lost their lives, and he started to rise to fame after that, that was just crazy to process. And the more people died, he just continued to succeed. And that is freaking insane to me. Insane. And then you can see in that photo, in the video that Biggie did when he said like he was in fear of somebody about to kill him in LA, and the photo that they took together, you can see on Biggie's face the worriness that he had. Like he was legit in fear of his life. And this whole entire documentary was freaking insane. I knew about some stuff, but I didn't know about all of that shit that went down. That is crazy. And the reason why they had this behind the scene footage is because Diddy did not pay the videographer.
So I'm on episode 1 of the Diddy documentary. And first of all, this is 1000% the type of documentary that I would expect someone's enemy to make about them. Immediately, straight out the gate from the jump, I can tell that 50 Cent's hands are all up in this. Secondly, before I get into what I really want to talk about, Janice, in every shade of blonde synthetic wig she owns, needs to be in a cell next to that nigga. Because as a mother, she essentially raised that man to be the man that he is today. She raised him to believe that he was a goddamn pimp and a drug lord. She had him dressing in tilted fedora hats and chinchilla coats at 5 when he should have been in Oshkosh B'gosh. Now, what I really want to talk about is the basketball game. First of all, this is 1000% my first time hearing about the tragedy that happened at that celebrity game or whatever he was hosting. This is my first time hearing about this. Had no fucking idea that this was something that actually happened in his life, and this is what actually made him who he was. But when they started talking about that basketball game, the first thing that came to my mind was Astroworld. I don't know if I'm the only person that thought about that, but when they said that people bum rushed the door and were trampled, and that is essentially how a lot of people end up losing their lives, the first fucking thing that came to my mind was Astroworld and Travis Scott. Because the similarities between those two situations are eerily similar. It's almost as if Travis Scott decided to recreate a ritual or a tribute that he saw someone else do in the past. Like Diddy said out of his own mouth that the tragedy that happened to those people is what essentially made him become a known name. So basically, people lost their lives for you to have fame. And Travis Scott was already somebody, but I feel like after Astroworld, he reached a different level. You catch what I'm putting down? Because there is just no way that those two situations just coincidentally happened where I believe the same amount of people passed away. There is just no way that that's a fucking coincidence. The fact that this is only episode 1 and all this shit is being uncovered, I'm not prepared for the next 3 episodes.
Watching Diddy's documentary fully affirmed what I already know, which is that the value of distractions has been inflated in society to a ridiculous point, to the point whereby people are willing to ignore the violation of another person's human rights as long as it means that they can continue to be entertained. And although like we've seen this in history to a degree, it's always been from like a capitalist, viewpoint, as long as there can be some financial gain. But for partying is absolutely insane to me. In Diddy's documentary at the very beginning, there's a lady called Joy Dickerson Neal. She was sexually assaulted by Diddy, and then he took videos of her and he exploited her with it, in the sense that he was using the videos to boost his clout. At parties, he would show the videos to people to show that he had slept with her, right? And obviously all of this was against her will. None of it was consensual. And when she went to people looking for support, they responded by saying, "I can't help you, because if I do, I will lose access to his parties. To parties. Are we actually being dead ass? Someone's human rights were violated, and your response is, "Nah, I got a party." That is absolutely insane to me. And this is why I feel like people just don't understand like the mind games that are being played. People like Diddy, they go into those spaces, especially where it's like cheap entertainment in the sense of parties, because to throw like a really good party, you just really need a surplus of drugs, good music, and woman if you're a dude. Like that's all you really need. To say that combination of things is worth more than defending another human being is insane to me. And that's why people will never understand, like, for cheap entertainment like that, people go into those spaces because they know like it doesn't really cost them anything to give you those things, because they plan on taking more from the society as a whole. So it will never cost them anything. And that's why Diddy got away with what he did for the longest time, because people were so distracted by the entertainment he was providing, they didn't see him digging in and taking away things that could never be returned. Like that woman said it, like he took so much from her, like to the point whereby she saw a picture of him at New York Square, she vomited. And this is what I mean by like, what the fuck is like, what is a party worth? To say that is to essentially say that you live to party. And I feel like there's a lot of people like that today who that kind of thing will happen. And just because they don't want to lose access to an event, this is why scumbags get away with a lot of shit. They position themselves in places whereby they can provide cheap entertainment to people with no backbone so that they can continue to steal from society and trample upon so many other people.
Wait a damn minute. So you're telling me that a girl who watched Making the Band growing up can be an unbiased juror for Diddy's RICO case? Please. I am so happy that I never got the Diddy propaganda on my side of TikTok when the case was actually going on. But I will say that, and if there is one thing that people can actually learn from this, is that when someone is always associated with or around drama, it's because they are the problem. They are the problem. Because how is it that anyone who is around Diddy is somehow involved in attacking SA or shooting or violence. Just there's something around at all times. And it's not only that, but it's also what an insecure, jealous man and manipulative person is willing to do to get what they want, because it is absolutely insane. Things that he did to get himself in the limelight, like on the Rolling Stone cover, on his own album, and then all that shucking and jiving he was doing on the stage, talking about "We miss you, Biggie," after he made Biggie pay for his own funeral. But the last thing I will say that literally everyone can learn from this documentary is to never, ever, ever offer to take 50 Cent shopping. Immediately no. Don't ever think about doing it.
The Diddy documentary was gross. When you decide to sell your soul, horrible things will happen to you. Duh. The man who said, "I woke up sore and I wouldn't know why." He also mentioned in the documentary that he stuck around for payment. He missed his kid's birthday. He missed holidays. You let Diddy convince you, Diddy, a father of 5, 6 kids, that you should miss your child's birthday for work? You waking up sore? You know, you chose to miss your child's birthday. And then Capricorn Clark, I didn't tell on him because I wanted to preserve the culture. And then all of them in the documentary calling him Puff. At this juncture, he's Mr. Combs. Everyone in the documentary, Puff this, Puff that. Mr. Combs. That documentary was awful and gross.
And then when we talk about the guy, the gigolo guy, talking about they used to collect his... Are we just going to like scroll past that? Are we just going to like act like that never happened? Guys, I'm telling you, they were doing ritual. Hey, I'm telling you. Like, the signs are all there. The signs are all there. He was harnessing people's energy. He was taking advantage of them. That's the reason why, even, if you remember, Cassie's already left. He's making the Red album. He can't create music anymore. Have you deeped that? He can't create the music that he used to be able to create because his energy source is no longer there. Are we not paying attention? Let's pay attention. This is how this stuff works. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but it's in our faces. The evidence has been presented. We have to start thinking critically about these things. I know there's going to be one of you here saying, not this again. But guys, the evidence is there. Okay? Like, we can't just skip over that part. That man was saying, listen, they were doing that for a year in a cup. Why did they need it in a cup? Why did it need to be once he had already left that they needed to do all of those shenanigans with his... Why? Because they did everything else in front of him. You know, he directed, he did all the other stuff in front, like, you know, they were all able to participate in that part of things. But why is it that specific act that he needed to not be there for? And he allowed it to happen for a year before he finally asked, what are you lot doing with my DNA? And then the moment he asked about it, they completely stopped. Guys.
Call Diddy a psychopath or a monster, I just feel like we're downplaying who he really is. I don't think we have a word to describe what that thing was. Because, not human. I didn't even know the name of this documentary. My homegirl texted me this morning, talk about, have you watched The Reckoning? I said, nah, is it scary? Thinking it was a movie. I see why the name is what it is. I just used to call it the PDD documentary. See, there's been a lot of conspiracies around that man. But seeing facts match up with said conspiracies, I said, oh my God. The things, I don't even know where to start. There are just so many things. But let's go through some of the things that have stuck out for me. And this is in no particular order. It's just how I'm going to remember stuff. First off, the tendency to want other men's lives is crazy. You see them with a woman, you're pressed to get that woman, to get them in your life. You don't find that weird? To involve yourself in every single thing and be the center of attention should be considered an illness. Honestly, because he was let off on so many things, he got to build to the devil. He'd been the devil, but he got to build into a bigger devil. Because let's start with that first event that had 9 people who died. That was his fault, and he got off. Then he put his bad boy records under his mama and his business partner, his co-founder. Speaking of the co-founder, what do you mean you threaten that man with a bat to sign over his shares because you have to do a business deal? And the trauma that man has experienced through you. And honestly, before this, well, maybe not even before this, but like when things came out with him and Cassie and those videos and stuff, I'm just like, everybody who was around him who let all this happen, like, y'all need to be persecuted too. But then I'm thinking back, like, no, a lot of them are victims. Like, obviously there's some fault to them, but a lot of these people are victims as well. Now let's get to Tupac and Biggie. You're jealous of a man's relationship. You want to be Tupac's buddy. That man don't want nothing to do with you because it's you. You set that man up. You set that man up and you celebrate it on the phone. It's like, for someone who has a lot of money and power to do stuff, to be doing stuff and not paying the people who you are making do these stuff is crazy to me. And then Biggie. Biggie had a Rolling Stone thing. You pulled that because you wanted to release your project. Forced him to be where he wasn't supposed to be. That man is murdered. You throw the biggest funeral and you're going to make him pay for said funeral? And then you want to redo his contract so y'all get more than you were originally supposed to get before his death? You're a sicko. And then, before we get to Cassie, every year on the anniversary of his death, you're having the freak. I don't, like, what I'm thinking of how bad of a word I could use to describe someone, there's not a word made for Diddy. And just to put a quick pause, the fact that people now are seeing this whole Tupac and Biggie situation, and now some people are like, oh my God, now he really needs to rot in jail. Like, I can't believe that. This was your breaking point. This was your breaking point? Cool. Now, let's move on to Cassie. Let's back up to, let's back up to the first baby mama. That man been putting hands on women from the dawn of time. Baby mama was linked to somebody else. Then we have Kim Porter, who was linked to, what was his name, Albie? Don't you feel weird trying to go after another, not that women, I don't want to say like after another man's woman because he don't own the woman, but like they were attached to someone before and that jealousy in you, once you, like, you need to have that woman as well. You don't find that weird. You're dealing with Kim and also bringing, like, God, he's literally destroyed so many lives. There's so many things to even think about. Even the first assistant, he took to Central Park and threatened her that I could kill you. Excuse me? Porter went through hell and back. And then Cassie, obviously we've seen the video. Even when the video came out and people were still trying to support Diddy, I'm just like, y'all can't be seeing what I'm seeing and y'all are still thinking that man needs to be let off. Obviously with the man they paid, with all that stuff, that girl, the years of therapy. The March 9th thing still blows me. I think what's even crazier about all of this man knows he's done all of this. And I don't know if he's just trying to be funny or he really thinks he hasn't done anything wrong. Because even the fact that he documented the leading up to like getting arrested, I think this man really thought he was going to get off because he's gotten off scot-free for so long. Do you know who else needs to be there with him? That little boy, Justin. Because what do you mean y'all shot someone at the studio and you told the cops, make sure to say it wasn't here? Who are those cops? Dirty cops. Literally the whole, there were multiple times through this documentary that my jaw would literally drop. Like, are you serious? And I'll have to rewind. Like, did I just hear that right? And his tendency to assault everybody, women, men. Like, what is your issue? What was it, Lil Rod guy? Is it Lil Rod? I'm blanking on his name. What do you mean that man worked with you day and night for 2 years? Thanksgivings, Christmas. You owe that man hundreds of thousands. And you trying to pay him 29, which he still didn't get. And you telling that man, I didn't get the Grammy. We got a Grammy nomination. What the nomination gonna do? Pay a bill? Really, a lot of people around that man was the victim. So crazy what people get away with because of money and power. And the thing is, this man wasn't even talented creatively. Like, you're not a rapper. You're not a singer. No dance moves is the same thing that your son been copying. Like, man just morphed into people and sold the dream. And what kills me is there's certain parts of the documentary where, first of all, 50 Cent did a great job. It's needed. It's crazy that we even have some of this footage. But this man will bring up God, and I will just be flabbergasted. Because what do you mean God told you not to do anything? It can't be my God you're talking to, because if it was my God, you wouldn't do 99.99% of the things you did. Then even in the studio or on the boat when he's flopping with the other producer and can't sing the 3 lines he's supposed to be singing, he talking about the only person I compare myself to is the Son of God. Oh, he's a narcissist. I think he really thought he was going to get away with everything. Honestly, those 50 months are not enough. Like, I need him to stay there, even if, you know, it's time for him to go on Judgment Day. I need his body needs to stay there. Like, I'm so sick. Watching this just breaks my heart for so many people who have been affected by him, directly and indirectly. I really hope he rots in prison. I can't believe what I watched. My prayer goes out for a lot of his victims, because it can't be easy. Even Aubrey, oh my God, that poor girl. She been through hell and back. But yeah, no, that man deserves every bad thing possible. Every bad thing possible.
Man, oh man, oh man. That Netflix documentary that 50 did on Diddy, exposing everything, footage that was never ever seen before, people that we've never seen before, exposing the truth about everything. Puffy, Diddy, whatever he calling himself now, is pissed because he tried his best to have that documentary stopped, completed, and now is trying to have that documentary taken down. But 50 Cent, being as smart as he is, man, him and his team make sure that they secured it where the documentary will stay on Netflix and will not come down. I'm going to say this right now. 50 ain't to be played with, bro. He ain't to be played with. I don't think 50 a billionaire like Diddy a billionaire or was a billionaire. I don't know how much all them attorney fees cost. But 50's not to be joked around with, man. He put the facts out there. I did not know that Diddy had another man fly in every year on Biggie Smalls' anniversary date that Biggie passed to have this guy smash his girl, man, for hours and for days. I didn't know that. The dude told the whole thing, man. And I was asking myself, man, where the heck did 50 get this footage at? And you know what I realized? When you're successful, you create enemies. The more money that you get, the more cockier that you become. Diddy was getting real cocky, talking to his staff crazy, security guards, ex-employees. So you know what? They had the footage on their phones from years and years and years. 50 pulled up with a bankroll and said, I'll take that. I'll take that. Here you go. And he sat on it for a long time. And he dropped it at the right moment, man. During the wintertime, man, when most people are in the house, man, watching television, trying to stay warm. I'm going to say this, man. Diddy can't do anything about this Netflix series. I'm telling you, man, it's bad. When I watched it, man, I ain't gonna lie. I watched all 4 episodes twice. It's crazy. If y'all ain't seen that Netflix documentary that 50 put out there, man, y'all need to rush. Y'all need to rush over there and check that documentary out, because I'm telling you, this is real drama, man. This is real drama. Diddy a dirty ass dude, man. Grimy. Y'all hear how he talked to his attorney when he was in that hotel trying to manipulate the system? Did y'all hear how when he was in the SUV after shaking people's hands and the guy gave him a jacket, a special jacket that was made for him, how Diddy's got in the SUV with his staff and said, I need to go take a bath. Give me the hand sanitizer. As if he's better than somebody. Just because you got money don't make you better than nobody. You know why? Because just like the rest of us, God got a date for you to check out. Just like he got a date for all of us to check out. But I ain't even going there, man. Go check that documentary out, man. Shout out to 50 Cent, man. You did your big one on collecting all that footage. That was a lot of footage over the years, bro. You guys go check it out, man.
That documentary is so deep. The allegations, the timeline, the behind the scene manipulation, the power play, the jealousy. Oh my God, that thing runs deep. And it is not just about Diddy, it is an entire system that protect powerful men like that. Because imagine when those people died, imagine he was apprehended, imagine he was arrested, imagine he was held accountable. Maybe he wouldn't have been able to get to the level that he is now. Maybe we wouldn't have been able to get to the level of bad that he is now. That documentary, it is deep. If you have watched the entire thing, please in the comment section, tell me what did it for you. Tell me at one point where you had to just sit down, put your system on pause and just shake your head for a few seconds, because I did that and it is insane. This was not just one man moving recklessly. It was a network of silence, of money, and image control as well. So many people are so stunned at the length that were allegedly taken to cover things up, because it is insane when you think about it. We are talking about people losing their voices, losing their careers, and even their lives being destroyed in the process. And all of this is happening, all of this downfall is happening to people while Diddy's empire continue to grow. And for me, I feel like this raises a bigger question. How many of these celebrities, these icons, have similar skeletons behind the curtains of what they call luxury? How many of them? Like, how many of these moguls, these celebrities, or these icons that we see and praise today, that we say, oh, they are doing this, they rose this, they did that, how many of them have so many behind the curtains that they call luxury? This conversation online, it has been wild, and I am enjoying every commentary that people are dropping about this. If you guys want a part 2 to this, let me know, because I see so many good commentary that I want to share with you guys. So if you guys want a part 2, definitely let me know in the comment section. There are some folks that have been talking about how they knew all along, and there are some that are now finally catching up on everything that is going on. It is forcing a lot of people to now reevaluate the things that they once praised, who they support, and as well their definition of success. Now a lot of people are side-eyeing every celeb that are staying quiet, because right now in this economy, in this world right now, silence is freaking loud. People are wondering who knew what, who looked the other way, and who helped protect the brand instead of the victims. At the end of the day, for me, this documentary wasn't just about Diddy, it's more about power and the cost of it, and how often this same thing, this type of empire, this type of luxury is built on the backs of people who are scared, people who are too small, or people who are too silenced to even fight back. People are talking about watching out for those who are going to speak, or those who are going to hide, and for what is about to still come to light. When I tell you that documentary is crazy, the lengths that people go, or the evil that money is, let me hear what you guys think in the comment section. If you have watched that documentary, please share with me in the comment section. I want to read your comments. I want to hear what you guys think. And if you haven't watched it as well, please go watch it. Go watch it so we can come back to the comment section and discuss about it. Thank you all so much for joining. I am going to see you guys in the next